In our belief in God, the area where human beings go wrong is their obsession of trying to anthropomorphize everything and visualize everything as if seeing something makes it more believable. We see ourselves in the mirror every day. Does that make the existence of God more believable? You know that a phone that has a camera is very, very advanced and can take amazing pictures and video. But if you drop it on the floor, it doesn't fix itself. It doesn't self-heal. But your eye can self-heal, I guess, depending on, obviously depending on the amount of damage done to your eye. But generally, you hurt yourself in the eye all the time and your eye heals itself. All the parts of your body heal themselves. Yet you're more likely to believe that there's a creator and a designer of this phone camera than you are by looking at yourself in the mirror and acknowledging that the advanced technology and intellectual and intelligence required to make you can't possibly exist. We rely every single day on other people verifying so many things in our lives. For example, we assume that we have a brain. Have we seen it? No. Well, we rely on the fact that we are functioning as human beings and the fact that other people have seen brains, that we must have a brain. But the complexity of the brain didn't just happen out of nothing. It didn't just big bang itself into existence. An intelligent being designed all of that. In fact, there are parts of our brain that we haven't even discovered what it does. People every day ignore their innate instincts that there is a God. Did you know, though, that there is an Oxford study that was done with 40 different combined studies? 57 researchers were a part of these studies from 20 different countries for children under 5 as well as adults. This is not the conclusion that they were looking for, but the conclusion that they came to was that the belief in God is part of human nature, that children under 5 years old have an innate feeling of the existence of God, and even adult human beings also, the majority of them, feel like there is an afterlife and that their existence is for a reason, for an important reason, that they are supernatural, there's a supernatural intelligence, but maybe they are agnostic. But the study that was done came to this conclusion that human beings have an innate feeling of God's existence. From these 40 studies that were done, two books will be coming out of that. So keep an eye out for it. One is called Cognitive Science, Theology, and Religion. And the second book is called Born Believers, The Science of Childhood Religion. So look out for these books. It makes more sense to believe in God and that an intelligent being has created all of this that you see every day, including what you see in the mirror, and that everything functions to the tiniest detail, and if it didn't, there would be serious problems. But what many people are getting stuck on is that if there is a God, he can't be that great, because why is there so many bad things going on in the world? And my answer to that is that is our test. Whether it's a child that's sick, or a sibling dies, or you lose a parent, or there's a natural disaster, those are all tests from God. When we were in the womb of our mother, we didn't imagine that one day we would be outside of it, walking around, wearing clothes, eating and breathing. And just because we can't imagine that there's going to be an afterlife after this, where things are going to be unimaginable, we can't even imagine what we're going to be doing then, it doesn't mean it doesn't exist. Same with where we were before we were in our mother's womb, and where we're going to be after the afterlife, after Judgment Day. Where are we going to be? And if you're going through life thinking, well, I'm pretty good, I don't do anything bad, well, that's your subjective idea of what the rules are supposed to be. right? There are other people who think their objective rules and ethics and values are better than the person next to them. Does that make them more valid than the next? We can't go by everybody's different ethics and morals and values. There has to be one. And human beings' morals and values are subjective. But the values and ethics and morals that were given to us by God, our creator, our designer, are there for us to live our best life in order to hopefully enjoy our life after this. But if you didn't live your life for the sake of God and for the sake of God being pleased with you and for the sake of you passing your tests in this life, then why do you expect to be rewarded afterwards? And also, if you don't believe that there is an afterlife and you're just going to sit there in a quiet grave sleeping for the rest of eternity, then you have nothing to lose. But if you're putting all your eggs in that basket, it's doomed for failure, because there is an afterlife, and if you do your homework, do your reading, and do some critical thinking, you will find out for yourself. I suggest you read the Quran. That's a challenge for you. That's a challenge I'm going to say to anybody. Read. Education is very important for your salvation. Find out what your path is, what your right path is. Not everybody's going to end up on the right path, but at least do your due diligence. God didn't just design us and just allow us to live here helter-skelter without any rules. There are documents, there are books, there are scriptures for you to find out and read. You're not here randomly. There's a purpose to your life. Anyway, I hope you have a lovely weekend. Assalamu alaikum.